Thank you very much for the opportunity. My colleague, Honorable Minister for Trade and Industry, my colleague Minister for Livestock and Fisheries, the Commissioner General and the secretaries, leaders of the business community, everybody gathered here, good morning. Congratulations, my colleague, Honorable Minister, and your team for organizing this very important national trade forum. I think it is well appreciated by the business community, listening to the remarks that they delivered here. The Ministry of Youth and Sports also appreciates this opportunity to have a conversation on trade. There were remarks by Mr. Lual, I believe, on how the businesses in South Sudan may feel frustrated in terms of taxes. I think that if you ask the youth, you will hear a lot of frustration. And this frustration is directed at you, the business community, and to some extent us in government. And this is what I would like to fortify a bit. It is important to remind ourselves that the demography of South Sudan is young. The 72% of our population is said to be under 30. If you are a business person, that means a lot to you, because this is asset that you use in developing your business. This is young talent. These are educated people. These are the people that will work in your companies. A country where you have a young population is indeed a country for business. However, we realize that this young population is likely unemployed. And we can blame ourselves a lot about why that is the case. To some, where we sit in the ministry, we believe that the business community has over-relied on commodity market. A lot of time we're talking about importing goods from East Africa. We have not developed the service sector, where you have young educated people that could help you in growing the service sector. We've also not employed these young people in our businesses. And for the most time, we complain about taxes, as well as concession that we need as businesses. An example was when we had the crisis in the Sudan, the massacre of young people and South Sudanese in the Sudan. A legitimate response from South Sudan sparked a protest. And we saw so many businesses closed, especially the Sudanese-owned businesses. In the cabinet, one of the cabinet meetings, it was brought to our attention that if this closure had continued for a week, you would have no services. So the question is, where are the businesses? Where are the South Sudanese-owned businesses? If the business environment is owned by Sudanese, and if you are other foreigners, you might as well say that there is no business owned by South Sudanese. So that, I think, is a fundamental challenge. This is not to say that you have a country in which there are no foreign businesses. You cannot have a country in which you don't have foreign businesses. However, I think our market is too open and has been defiled by those that should not do businesses. I don't think that opening a shop is an investment, especially a commodity shop where you sell biscuits. That's not an investment. So in terms of the legal framework, there's a lot to do for us in government to ensure that we protect our citizens, that they truly access the business opportunities that the government offers to them, and that investors are directed at sectors that should allow this country to develop. Today, we run on generators in terms of power. Today, we have not seen so many businesses embarking in agriculture. The Minister of Investment one time presented the business landscape. Majority of the businesses are in the commodity market, selling goods and construction materials. And in fact, they sell them in makeshift stores. So the challenge to you, the business community, is that I think the government has extended so much to try and encourage you to do business, such as suspending a legal framework. Because in fact that is a legal issue there, that the law passed by Parliament had to be suspended in order to allow business to continue. That's a gesture that should be appreciated. So we challenge you as a Minister of Youth and Sports to open up spaces to attract young people so that they can help you in your business. And this is no time to waste. We are discussing with the Ministry of Trade and Industry to ensure that young people are engaged in entrepreneurship. Because this country will truly become stable if we have young people, which constitute the majority, embark in entrepreneurship. Because prosperity that we save for this country to enjoy will not come from how much taxes we collect from businesses, but how many people are involved in the businesses. Today, countries, as we have seen in the US and elsewhere, pursue stability through business and security guarantees. And that's why we have a problem as a country, because our security faces many challenges and our business environment is not also thriving. To thrive, we have to look at what other countries are doing, and that is to open up opportunities for young people to engage in entrepreneurship. I will end by appreciating the Honorable Minister for organizing this conversation and also encouraging the business community to appreciate this opportunity to dialogue, which I think has not happened in many countries, that the government calls for a meeting with the private sector to discuss. A country in which you have the largest government might struggle to grow, might struggle to attain stability. Today we have very light government. That must be eliminated. We want to see a large private sector, because a large private sector means a lot of money and prosperity for South Sudan. I thank you very much.